and welcome to Reduce and Stop Suicide Ireland's next video, which is really going to concentrate on community and how community can actually help reduce and stop suicide in the country. And like every video that we're going to do, we're going to remind you that it is a very sensitive subject, talking about suicide. But I suppose we feel that we need to talk about it, to do something about it. And if anything too personal comes up in this video and it does bring up things for you, please look for help and ask for help. Another thing that's kind of coming up, especially when we're talking about community as well, is that not everybody wants to talk about the doom and gloom of suicide and depression and anxiety and panic attacks and problems that people have, because it can actually trigger things in people. And I'm really sorry about that. And that's fine. But at the very least, please talk about it. Please tell people that you don't agree, that it's okay, that people are taking their lives. Please challenge anything that doesn't care for life or people in the country. Because it does feel like we're ignoring it. And, as a country, it feels like we're ignoring it. We're just getting on with it. I just get on with this old attitude of just get on with it. Just get on with it. I've been working as a therapist for many years now. And it's amazing how many people that actually come looking for help that have been told that down through the years, just get on with it, it'll be all right, when it's not all right, it's not okay. And we don't understand emotions, we don't know how to help each other. It's not okay that we can't help people. And I suppose with these videos we've been talking about the individual person, yes, has responsibility. The family and friends have responsibility. And now we're going to talk about community today. And then the last one will be around government. And apologies if it does sound like a little bit of a rant, but we need to get on top of this. So we want the country to look at general happiness and create a culture in Ireland that cares for the people in it, collectively. Asking people individually to do this is fine, but collectively we need to look at the country as a whole. Human problems can only be solved by humans, and it can, and we need the community and government to put plans in place to reduce and stop suicide in the country, because families and friends can only do so much. So this video is about just suggesting ideas, looking at how we can actually improve things, how we can make things better. And in general, people don't like change, but it needs to change. So you might be asking then, well, what can a community do? Like, the community basically is people in this country, and we need to start caring for each other. A lot of people might laugh at this and say it's very corny to talk about that, but we need to normalise talking about well-being, talking about what's right and what's wrong. The anger, the frustrations, the fear, the worries, we've ingrained problems in this country. You could argue worldwide, but we can't do anything about the world. But we can do something about this country, where we need to be patient, but where we need to respect each other, we need to understand each other. And then to understand and respect each other, there is many different groups in this country, and there's more and more different groups coming into this country, and everybody needs to respect each other. So one group needs to respect another group needs to respect, everybody needs to respect each other. And it's getting out of hand, and it has been getting out of hand for many years. And always remember, we can't negotiate if we don't respect. At the very least, respect each other's differences and cultures and beliefs. But we need to have a caring attitude towards each other. So you might have the rich not respecting the poor not respecting the rich, certain political parties not respecting each other, and sure, it'll only lead to us going around in circles. The absolute fundamental thing that's needed is respect, and looking to create a caring environment in the country. Because to me, it just seems like we're losing sight of balance. Whether it's deliberate or not, it is happening. And it's so unbalanced in this country. And unfortunately, we live in a world where respect is down to, the clothes you wear, the money you have, the properties you own. And don't get me wrong, I admire and I commend successful and rich people, but have a look around at you. Have a look at people on the ground. When you're walking along the street, have a look around you. And this is something that we could actually change. This is something we could do something about. You know, some parts of society just keep piling on their wealth, and other people can't even start. They don't even know how to start. It's completely unfair and unbalanced. We're so caught up with being politically correct about what we say and how we say it, rather than changing how we treat each other. Really think about that. We're allowing suicide happen in this country. That might sound really hard hitting, but that's what we're doing. Think about that. We're allowing it to continue. And among many other things that are completely harmful to people. And who does that suit? We've heard these things so many times. We're all in this together. But it's funny, it doesn't feel like we're all in this together. We're not working together to fix problems that are there in the country. And we just keep blaming people who are not able to fix it. The people who are on the ground get blamed, and it's their fault. Where we hear the words scumbags being used all the time. It's a horrible, horrible way to describe any person. There's a reason why people behave the way they're behaving. We're not educating ourselves. We're not educating each other. And it's very easy just to point the finger and blame people. But we need to get a little bit more intelligent, emotionally intelligent. I'm not looking to disrespect anybody's intelligence, but emotional intelligence. And I suppose the more I've been helping people and supporting people, the more I realise that people just don't understand emotionally what's going on for them, how to deal with difficulties in their lives, how to cope better. We need, as parents, we need to demand that our children are educated more. We need to look after ourselves. We need to learn how to look after ourselves, our well-being. We need to talk about it, not ignore it. You know, you hear people using this term old school Ireland all the time. Sure, that's old school, that's old school. What does that mean? I don't know. What, that you don't talk about it? That you don't see how you're affected by your past? How you're affected by how you were brought up? And understanding that when somebody is experiencing a traumatic event in their lives, that there's a process that they have to go through in order to overcome it and to be able to feel better about it. Whether it's big or small to you, it doesn't matter. It's the person that's the expert. It's the person who has been experiencing the trauma in their life. Another thing, when you see, and again, I like, it's not trying to blame the rich or blame anybody, but can the rich help? Like the numbers that when I'm looking a little bit of research about this, 300 people in Ireland are worth nearly 100 billion at the time of reading. It's probably more now. Ireland's GDP is 400 million. So 300 people in this country has 25% of the GNP of the country. Think about that. And 300 people, and every year 480 people take their own life in Ireland. That's unbelievable. In my opinion, that's unbelievable. We need to learn how to give back to society, how to help people live. You know, the more people that are living in this country, the more people can get involved. Another thing, we do need to involve people more and more. 140,000 people are unemployed in this country. And 1.2 million of our citizens in this community are on or below the poverty line. And the link from poverty and suicide is huge. Where people's self-esteem, self-worth is on the floor. They're not able to pay bills. They're not able to look after themselves. And then when you think about the waste that's happening, the waste in the country, the food waste, the general waste. Have a look in garages and truck shops. Go into your local shopping centre. Have a look around of things that are on shelves, and the excess is ridiculous and disgusting. And all we're doing is competing. You know, we hear people talking about the rat race all the time. Competing rather than caring for each other. And legally it's okay. You know, we're not breaching any human rights. You know, legally it's okay. You'll hear people talking about that all the time. Well, maybe the law needs to change then. Is it too much about money rather than people? Anybody that might know about Maslow, his hierarchy of needs talked about a foundation of a person is basic needs is food, water, shelter, warmth, rest, security, and health of people, or people. And like we've already stated, yes, the individuals have responsibilities, course to do, but we need to create a caring, understanding, supportive, and encouraging culture that is inclusive of everybody. Reflect on whether you care enough to actually change as a human being, change as a person. Has the country got the will to change it? COVID has really shown us what is essential and what's not essential. We have to acknowledge that. We have to learn from what's happened with COVID. And then the attitude that's really unhelpful is, sure, I'm okay, so everything's okay. Please look around for solutions. We need to help and encourage each other, and stop judging and ridiculing each other. We have to create social spaces where it's okay to go and meet up with people that doesn't involve mind-altering substances. Can we refurbish buildings? Can we put our energies into actually caring for people on this island and in this country, and truly get the country working for each other? Contributing to society should really earn a roof over your head where there isn't a huge amount of stress around paying bills and things like that. We have to stop harming each other, either directly or indirectly now. We have amazing people in this country, with amazing abilities and strengths and skills. Imagine what it would be like if we all actually put our energies into actually just looking after each other and looking out for each other. How incredible that would be to make Ireland a better place. You think about all the charities that are around there filling voids and gaps, but the evidence is there to actually tell us that what we're doing is actually not working as effectively as we want it to be. You know, how many volunteers keep this country going in relation to youth clubs and coaches and youth workers and homeless, mental health services? And then you think about the attitude towards nurses from our politicians has been nothing short of disgusting, and they've been keeping this country going and putting their bodies, their families' health, their own health on the line. For what? For just to continue to be treated like crap? Can we stop creating pressures for people? Like I say, human problems can only be solved by humans. And stop looking down on people and believing that you're better than everybody else or you deserve better than everybody else. We are not designed to live forever. We need to look out for each other and make this world a better place. And stop just compiling things for family or whatever it is. You know, the way it is, the way it is now is every man for himself, and basically the strongest will survive. And we're not animals. We should be better than this. We should be addressing the poverty problems, and supporting people to get out of it. You know, it's like the old saying is, give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day, but show a man how to fish and he'll eat for the rest of his life. But you need to be able to provide a space for somebody to be able to fish and to be able to live themselves. We're living in a community that almost ridicules and threatens successful people and winners, and then judges them and judges people and abuses failure. Like, make sense of that. How are we supposed to live and survive when we're doing that to each other? It feels like we hate to help and support others. We hate to see people doing well. I've heard many times that, sure, that's really an Irish thing. No, it's not. It's a jealous thing. It's an ignorant thing. It's a spiteful thing that we should be really ashamed of. And we need to stop doing it. Can we give people what they need or what they want? What's the worst that can happen? Will we have a happier, fairer society, a more peaceful society where people are satisfied and supportive of each other? Can we stop just creating these problems where we're just living to work rather than working to live because of this rat race? We know that we've amazing people in this world. We need to stop shrugging our shoulders and believing that there's nothing we can do about this, because there's plenty we can do about this. And of course, I'm not naive to think that there shouldn't be consequences to people's actions, but we need to support people. We need to listen to people, ask them. People will tell you what's wrong. We need to create a safe space for people to tell us what's wrong, because they don't feel like nobody's listening at the moment. We need to stop bullying each other, and we need to actually start putting actions in place. Surely it's time that Ireland makes changes for the better. We used to be called the land of 1,000 welcomes. We can't say that anymore. Just constant judgment and ridicules and abuse and creating unachievable goals for people. And to address this massive problem, there needs to be a will to do it from the country, from the community members, you, me, everybody. And the attitude of, sure, what can we do, has to stop, because there's plenty we can do. By working together, we can do this. We can make it a better place to live in. We need to look at the country almost like an army or a family, and it's only as strong as its weakest member. And stop pushing people further into despair and creating unrealistic goals and targets for people. That is contributing to suicide. Whether you like to hear it or not, that is contributing to suicide. Anything new can be painful, we know that. Change is hard, but we need change. And as a community member, ask for change with your politicians. Demand it from people. It's just not good enough. Like we did before with the deaths on the roads and the drink driving. It can be done. The smoking ban. All these things can be done. It is achievable. Because to me it's very simple. If you treat people like crap, well, that's how they're going to behave. Life is something that grows. And we are not allowing certain people in society to grow at the moment. And that is one of the biggest reasons why people are taking their own lives. So please, let's look out for each other and create a caring environment.